Do you ever get this feeling like deep in the pit of your stomach that you just know something's off in your life, right? It could be your life, it could be your business, it could be any number of things, but you just know. And the thing is this knowing, it lives with you, right? But you continue going on about your day-to-day life and working in the operation or working in the business, whatever that may be, and you just continue kind of acting like a robot a little bit, just going on day by day. But deep in the pit of your stomach, this feeling continues to come up. And the truth is, all farmers feel this, but most of them aren't even willing to talk about it. They just hope that it'll disappear one day. Well, inside of today's video, we're going to kind of reach into that pit here a little bit, and I'm going to ask you some key questions that you may not have considered, but are ones that you definitely should consider if you're stuck in this place feeling this right now. And if you can find the bravery to answer these questions honestly, I guarantee you it will shift your thinking and shift the future of your business forever. Now, just to set some expectations, we're not going to solve all these problems and this pit of a feeling in your stomach inside of one video, but we're definitely going to open some doors here to start working that way. And these doors might be ones that lead you to better financial clarity or better home life for your family, or maybe even a little more confidence and certainty in where you're going and leading your family and your business. Now, if any of these questions, when I ask them, they sting a little bit, I just want to tell you that's okay. And it most likely means that if they sting a little bit, then they're probably questions that you should answer honestly so that God can take you to the next level. Because if they're stinging, you're most likely ready to keep moving forward. All right, so here's the first question that you should be asking yourself if you have this feeling here that we talked about at the beginning of this video. Is what I'm currently doing with the farm or ag business really serving my family? Now, this one is obviously very personal, but so many of us and every customer that comes into Legacy Farmer, we're all focused on solving business problems, right? But the thing is, though, is that once you solve business problems, the only problems we're left with are the problems that your business can't solve, like your family. And this is where, a lot of people, they come in and they sacrifice so many things and experiences with their kids or their family or whatever that is to serve the farm, right? And their lifestyle ultimately exists to serve what the farm needs. And my granddad was the same way. Honestly, my dad was the same way as well until, the feed yard went under and everything. And I probably would have had the same thought process and perspective on things as well if our operation was still running today. But the reality is all of those things have shifted for me because I've seen the downfall of our family operation, but also too, a lot of customers as well that they've come into Legacy Farmer and their family life is just falling apart because they've spent their entire time sacrificing the lifestyle that they want the farm to provide their family and the time they want to be able to spend with their family and the freedom that comes with it to serve the needs of the farm operation. Now, the stuff that a lot of people don't want to talk about are the compounding consequences of doing this for 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years, because a lot of the problems here that we have inside of the industry right now, two big ones is divorces and suicide. Well, this is what happens when you continue to give every ounce of your being to this farm operation or this ag business and not have it actually give you what you want in return. And we're expected, especially if you were raised like my granddad, to just give and give and give. And it's your obligation to continue to do this. We don't care what your feelings are. Your lifestyle exists to serve the farm and secure the legacy for the next generation. I'm sorry, guys, but I just have a completely different viewpoint on that. Everything that I'm doing inside a business exists to serve one thing: the lifestyle that I want to be able to provide for myself and for my family, and the opportunities I want to be able to provide them as well. And most people, they don't look at it this way. So that's why I'm challenging you on this question, because just by simply answering this, and if you're really brutally honest with yourself, it could change every decision and every action you take going forward inside of the operation. Because again, guys, think about how many kids events and things like that people miss working into this industry because they think that they need to spend time in the field versus going to a kids event or something like that, or their time is more valuable spent over there. It just doesn't work that way. And you're going to destroy marriages, you're going to destroy relationships with kids, and you could potentially destroy yourself as well, because deep down, after you do this for a long time, you're going to look back at your life and realize, man, I screwed up this one big time. And at the end of the day, it's not always about just working harder. It's about making sure the business you're building is actually serving your life. Now, we'll come back to all of this in a minute, especially when we talk about your numbers. But if you've ever found yourself sitting in the tractor wondering, man, there's got to be a better way to do this, then the next question I'm going to ask you may explain why. So question number 2 that you need to ask yourself: are the financial decisions that you're making today ones that you're making because you want to, or ones that you're making because you have to? And there's a drastic difference between those two. And most people, unfortunately, are in the financial situation today where they are making decisions because they have to, not because they want to. And this, honestly, that one key thing right there is what separates the top 1% of producers and ag business owners in this country from the rest of the 99%. Because if you're in a situation where you have to make a decision today or make a financial decision because you have to, you are capped, right? You don't have any other option. You may have too much debt. You may be over leveraged. You may not have enough time. time, you may have just gotten yourself into a bad situation as a business owner where now it doesn't matter what you really want long term, you're forced to make decisions today. And a lot of people are in that, especially with the debt load they've taken on the past 10 or 15 years. I know some people in our area that were literally debt free back in 2012 and 2013 when we had grain prices explode there for a little bit, that are so riddled with debt today, they have no idea when they're going to be able to pass it on to their kids or even retire, or if they can't even pass it on, right? Because at the end of the day, why would you want to pass on something that's just riddled with debt, and you're essentially passing on a sinking ship to the next generation, hoping that they can turn things around? That is not the type of opportunity that I want to be able to pass on to my kids. But the thing is, most people that are stuck in that cycle, they're forced to react, not really thoughtfully think things through. And what separates the top 1% again from the 99% is the top 1%. They make decisions today and financial commitments because they want to, not because they have to. And when you're on that side of the game, you have time. You're patient about things. You're letting things naturally come to you because there's no immediate actions that you have to take today. And this is where the decisions and everything you get to make going forward become a lot funner, because you'll see God bring opportunities into your life where all the stars line up. All the stars line up. And guess what? You don't have to rush into the decision. If you are making the decision, it's because everything is perfect at that time. The business is ready for that growth and things like that. And this is where we also get into comparison game too, to where if you're the regular 99% of farmers that are forced to make these decisions, you're wondering why everybody else around you, or maybe some of the big operations, are getting chances to buy things that maybe you don't. Well, that's part of the reason though too, is because they've run their business and built it the right way to where they don't have to make any immediate decisions. They weren't reactionary with any of the decisions. They weren't buying things based on their emotion. They were buying things based on logic and facts when it came to, does this make financial sense for our operation and for the lifestyle that we're trying to build for this family? And the number one thing that you create when you have that level of thinking is space. Right? You're able to be patient, you're able to be calculated, and you're just not, man, you're just really not worried about anything, right? And all the decisions that you're making at that time, if you're in that place, are really 6 to 12 months out in the future. Again, if you're reactionary and you have to make decisions today and you have to make financial commitments today because you don't have a choice, that's not a way that you're going to build a business that's actually going to serve your lifestyle and give you what you want to pass on to the next generation. And most people too are probably wondering, Jace, how do I get to that point in my operation? Well, it starts with simply knowing your numbers first, right? And building out the foundational pieces with your balance sheet and your cash flow for each individual business that you're running. And this is why we built out Farmer Metrics. I never in a million years when I started Legacy Farmer thought that we were going to build out a financial software. That was never in the cards there. But we continued to get these questions because people were sick and tired of having to make decisions and financial commitments because they had to, not because they wanted to, right? People wanted a level of control. And Farmer Metrics was our first way of providing them that control there and giving them an opportunity to earn their way to the top 1%. So we have time, space, and patience when it comes to making these bigger financial commitments for the farm operation or for our family. All right, so now let's move into question number 3 that you need to be asking yourself. And this is one that I've asked myself as well. And this is a tough one that I know a majority of men, speaking from that perspective, struggle with here. And that is, am I really the one that's supposed to run and lead this farm operation or this business in general? And there's not one person I know, guys, that's in a leadership seat that hasn't had this question come up for them before, because a lot of us, we want to sacrifice, we want to build and things like that, but there's this deep rooted fear or feeling of inadequacy that we're the ones that are capable of leading whatever God has put on our plate. And the thing is what helped me kind of overcome this, because even with Legacy Farmer, right? In the beginning and early days of Legacy Farmer, I never imagined in a million years it would turn into what it has now. But I had that doubt, right? I had the doubt and the question of like, am I really the one to lead this? And I'm just waiting for the main guy to show up, right? I'll get it started, kind of build it up a little bit, but then somebody's going to show up that can really take it to the next level. And the thing is, I refuse to accept the simple fact for a long time that God put me here for a specific reason. God put me here to grow into the leader that could lead this business and lead us to the next level or wherever he intends for us to go. But the thing is, though, too, is that he chose me to go on this journey of overcoming adversity and challenges that are never ending for the most part, right? It's running any type of business today is solving one problem after another for the most part, right? That's literally all you're doing. And it's adversity and it's challenges, and it just seems like they're never ending. And it sucks when you're going through it. But the reality is that's how God is helping us grow into the leaders that are going to take the business where he intends for it to go as well. And there was a time period in my life where I finally accepted that. And I accepted the fact that God chose me to lead this. Legacy Farmer isn't mine. Yes, I may own the company and stuff like that. But the reality is he put certain things in my life and lined up certain events like our family farm operation going under, like putting me in the bank, like making me struggle as an entrepreneur for 3 years and literally having nothing to this point now. All those things lined up because he chose me to steward this creation. Right? It's not my creation, it's his creation. That's the way I look at it here too. And so I share all that with you because that gave me some level of peace here in accepting that, hey, he chose me. And just because I don't feel like I'm the person today doesn't mean that I'm not going to feel that way 1 year, 2 year, 5 years, 10 years from now, whatever that is, because there's going to be a lot of adversity and problems that I have to solve over that time frame. And also there's going to be a lot of growth as well, right? And so the thing is, what I've learned, the way to build yourself and build that mindset that, hey, you are the one to lead this generation and lead this operation and things like that, is to continue to get up and go to work every single day and take the challenges head on. Right? Don't run from them. Don't try to hide from them. Don't try to bury them or anything like that. Accept that the challenges are coming to you for a specific reason and that there's growth and blessings for you on the other side of it that God has intended for you to continue building that mindset and that confidence that, hey, you're the one to lead this thing. Right? And that he picked you to steward his creation here for the next generation, and that, hey, that's just the way it is. And we move forward. All right, my friends. So now let's move into the fourth and final question inside of today's video. Are your finances actually where they need to be? Okay, so at the time of this recording, it is August 6th of 2025. And most people at this time of year, you know, in Kansas, we've went through wheat harvest and stuff like that. We've invested in a crop. Now we're starting to get things ready and geared up for next year's crop as far as prepaids and stuff like that goes. And the thing is this is where a lot of people, they start to question how they're going to end up at the end of the year, because they maybe updated their balance sheet and did an annual cash flow projection damn near 8 months ago, and they haven't looked at it since. And this is where the scarcity, the fear, the anxiety, the doubt, and all these things start to come into play, which also feeds into you not feeling like you're the one to lead this operation as well, right? It feeds into these other areas of life too. And the thing is if you're not looking at the numbers, yes, you are in a very unintentional way bringing this doubt and this anxiety into your life that you're not the one to lead this thing going forward. But also too, you're setting yourself up for failure long-term, because the top 1% of farmers and producers that I talked about at the beginning of this video, guess how often they're updating their numbers? At a bare minimum, monthly basis. Right? They're doing month by month cash flow projections. They're updating their balance sheet month by month as well, because they understand and know that their numbers are changing drastically throughout the year. And that as long as they know their numbers, now their decisions are changing mid-year as well. Most of you had a game plan at the beginning of the year that you put together, calling your annual cash flow, that you just half-assed and put together for your banker, and you've tried to stick to that. But the reality is you have no idea if you stuck to it, because you've had so many emotions and so many things have happened for the year. You don't really know where the hell you're at, right? And this is where all that fear, all that anxiety starts to build now going into the end of the year, because you don't know if you're going to get financed next year. You don't know if the farm operation is profitable. You don't know if you just spend another year spinning your wheels. And you also have no idea what your tax bills are going to be either, because when you continue just to buy shit that you don't need and kick your tax bill down the road, at some point, that road's going to come to an end and you're going to have a massive tax bill to take care of. And so it's literally a difference, my friends, of being proactive in monitoring and updating your numbers or being reactive. And I can tell you, after working with more than 400 family farm operations that have come into Legacy Farmer, the top 1% of them, they are extremely proactive in monitoring and managing their numbers on a monthly basis, and then tax planning appropriately going into the end of the year. There's no second guessing for them. They're looking at the numbers. Guess what? Sometimes the numbers don't tell them what they want, but even in those moments where the numbers may show you some painful problems and things like that, guess what? You still have a foundation to build off of. It's still giving you clarity on the different decisions that you need to make going forward in order to compensate for whatever the numbers are showing you there. So it's just this top of mind awareness here that you're able to achieve when you have the courage and discipline to update your numbers on a monthly basis. And I guarantee you, my friend, it is going to change your life drastically. It's going to change everything about how you operate as a business owner, and it's going to truly set you apart from a majority of other farm operations inside of your county or inside of your region. All right, guys, so we're going to wrap up today's video. So in answering these questions here, I'm just going to encourage you guys to be brutally honest, right? The facts and whatever the answers are, they're not bad. There is no bad answers here. The truth is you need to go through this exercise just to get clarity in where you're at and ultimately where you're wanting to go. Now, a lot of the things that we talked about here today involved knowing your numbers. Well, the good news for you is this is exactly what we built Farmer Metrics to help you do. Our system helps you get your numbers structured and organized for each individual business and puts things into one dashboard. So for the first time, you have a level of clarity in your finances and can start to build out that certainty as well that I know you want and where your operation is going forward. And the good news is you can check out Farmer Metrics for free by signing up for a free trial at the link below this video.